Hey guys, Blake here with another video, and today we're going to be talking all about Repashy, and I'll show you how to make it up. So let's jump straight into the video. Okay, so if you've never come across Repashy food before, first of all I should say that this video is unsponsored, so there's no sort of bias or anything like that. So Repashy is a gel food, which is kind of interesting. So what you basically do is make it up yourself into whatever shape or size you like. But the good thing about gel food is that it's super gentle on the digestive system of fish, so you won't run into as many issues with sort of bloating and things like that you might with other foods. So this is the one that I particularly like to feed. This is the Soylent Green here, or Super Green is it called? Super Green. But there are many different varieties. If you have a lot of live berries and guppies, I would also recommend the grub pie, because that has a lot of insect meal in it. So if we just quickly run through the ingredients of this just straight off the container, we've got spirulina algae, algae meal, chlorella, pea protein, rich protein concentrate, alfalfa leaf powder, stabilized rice bran, dandelion powder, coconut meal, flaxseed, etc., dried seaweed, and a bunch of other sort of natural ingredients. I guess this is more vegetable based, so it's easier to use natural ingredients. That's pretty much all it is. There are a couple of different sizes you can get as well, and I think this is sort of a medium size here. As well as that, it does give you the directions on the box, but on the tub. But who's going to read all that? I'll just run you through it today. And I don't exactly use the directions anyway. So when you open up the container, this is what it will look like. Can you see that? Maybe not. But it's just sort of a green powder. Actually, what I'll do, it does come with a spoon in there, but sometimes it's a bit hard to find. So you get one of these little spoons which has two sizes on it. I don't know exactly what the size are. Looks like this, sort of a green powder. Sometimes you will find lumps and things like that. I know that the grub pie one especially had little calcium lumps and things in that. So you can crush them up if you like, or they will break up once you decide to make it. So what we'll do now is I'll just pan down and show you what we're going to use here to make it. Something like that. So here are a few things that I use to make it. First of all, have a dedicated pouring utensil. Don't get your partner's favourite pouring jug out of the cupboard, because this stuff, actually that's a good recommendation in itself. I wouldn't go making this in the kitchen when the family are around. It does smell like fish food, and you are mixing it with boiling water, so quite a fishy smell does go through the kitchen. So this is probably best done when home alone. I've got obviously my Repashy here, pouring jug, and then I've got two options here for molds. So the good thing about the gel food is you can make it whatever size you like. So for like the pleco breeder tanks and all that, I like to just do a big one, but then if I have tanks with shrimp and things like that, then I'll just do these smaller cubes here. So you can get, you know, crazy shapes if you like. You can make little dinosaur Repashys or whatever takes your fancy. But for me, I like these two sizes, and I like to choose a mold with silicone basically inserts here, so you can easily pop them out once they're frozen. So in terms of the Soylent Green, I find that it's super popular food for sort of plecos and shrimp, and even guppies and platies and things like that as well. But a lot of things will travel across and sort of peck at this stuff. So if you decide to just refrigerate it, it will last up to 2 weeks, but I just like to make a big batch and then freeze it, put it in sort of Ziploc bags or basically put it into portions, and then I just grab one of those out of the freezer, and it's easy as that, and they'll last a really long time. So what we do here is we go and get our kettle of boiling water, and we'll get straight into it. Okay, so I've got my kettle of boiling water here, and what the directions say on the box are 1 part Repashy to 2 to 3 parts boiling water. So I don't mind that ratio. I sort of do more so 2/3 than 1/4. So we'll just fill this up to, you know, around about 400 mils there. That's probably actually a bit much. So about 320 mils here, or 1 1/4 cups. We'll just load up the Repashy then to the 500 mil mark there. I like to put the Repashy on top of the water just because then it's easier. You don't have to sort of mix it to get it off the bottom of the container. So what I'm going to do is just start mixing this up here. We'll get a gauge of the consistency and then make a decision from there. But yes, this smells exactly how it looks, like one of those bad health shakes that some people like to make up in the morning, and it probably contains similar ingredients. Just give it a bit of a stir. You don't have to use a whisk, you can use a fork. Done it heaps of times just like that. But yeah, it's really flexible. You can really make it sort of as thick or as runny as you like, but just keep in mind that if you do make it a bit more runny, you'll have to feed a bit more, and vice versa. Alright, so I think that's a little bit thick for my liking, so I'm just going to add a bit more water. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. So it's super simple. Once we have it mixed up into a consistency we're pretty happy with, then we just lay out our molds here. We might do one large one and one small one for now, and just pour it straight into the mold. This is the hard part. And make sure that the mold that you do have will be able to handle the heat. I mean, it's pretty much boiling water, so it's quite hot. But I've done it with these molds a number of times, and they've not had any adverse effects. For this mini mold here, I'm just going to get a knife and pretty much spread it around. So I'm just going to make up another batch now, and we'll fill up all these molds, and then we'll pick up the camera again once we're ready for the next step. Okay, so we've gone ahead and filled up all of our molds now, and pretty happy with that. So we should have lots of Repashy to last, quite a long time. So that was maybe, a fifth or so of the batch of the container. So you get a heap out of it. It's super simple to make, just a bit of boiling water, bit of time, sit down. And now what we can do is, I like to just let it actually just set at room temperature, and then once it's at room temperature, then I go and put it in the freezer. That will sort of make it more hard and easier to pop out and place in our bags, or in our, however you want to store them, in a container or whatever. But I find it convenient to use Ziploc bags, because then I take them out to the fish room and I don't have to remember about bringing anything back inside. So that is how you make up Repashy. Pretty easy, pretty straightforward. I'll get these in the freezer now, and we'll show you a bit of a feeding of this stuff, just so you know the proof is in the pudding, and that fish will actually eat it. So I'll chuck it in the freezer now. We'll pick up the camera in a couple of hours. Grab out a few of the little frozen cubes. These cribensis will love it. I'll just drop, 3 in there. They should go to it straight away. This is the first time I've fed these cribs this food, but as you can see, straight onto it. And usually they're a bit scared, these cribs here. They're a wild caught crib, so I've found them to be a bit skittish, more so than the ones next door, the tank raised ones. So we'll just give them a minute there. We'll just drop a big one in there and a big one over here. Okay, so we'll have a bit of a look. It looks like a bristlenose has come up to investigate. Obviously bristlenose love it too. Yeah, there's a sneaky little horde of bristlenose here trying to suss out where that smell's coming from. Oh right, there's a cube just right there. So that one's a success. This one here, they're playing soccer with it. They love it so much. Absolutely a hit there. So that'll just keep rolling around this aquarium. We'll check out underneath. The guppies are all having a feast on that, and no doubt the plecos will come across soon. Up here I dropped one in for the shrimp, and already they're starting to have a munch on it too. Similar over here. Got a couple of smart shrimp there on the top. I find that shrimp and bristlenose especially absolutely love Repashy. Have a look at this one. These guys obviously have fed Repashy a fair bit, because there's an absolute mountain of shrimp on this mold already. So that's all good to see. So there you go guys, those are my thoughts on Repashy and how to make it up. A super simple way to make up some gel food. I recommend doing it in batches, because let's be honest, we're not going to do it every single day. But it's a food that's really easily digestible, has some super high quality ingredients, and just overall your fish will absolutely love it. I can't speak for all of them, but certainly the spirulina based one, the Super Green and the grub pie are certainly winners in my fish room at least. So hopefully you liked this video. If you did, please smash the like, hit subscribe and all that fun stuff. I'll catch you on the next one. Thanks for watching.